Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I have an unboxing of Papercraft Society box number 29. This one has been designed or curated by Christina Griffith, and it is under the Card Making Magic brand, which is the brand that she designs under. And this one is really cool. They're all cool. Actually, lately I found that they have, every box is a little bit kind of unique, and you're sort of getting a sneaky peek of that here because they've really gone beyond just the standard cardstock, dies, stamps. Now they're including a lot of different tools, different supplies, different types of crafting that I just think makes every box a lot of fun. So what I've already done is taken all of the contents and fit as much of it as possible into the folio here. Some things don't fit, so let me go ahead and actually show those first. These would normally be wrapped in the tissue paper that is at the bottom below your folio. A little bit of something, I think this box is, they're all fantastic value for money, but I feel like this one just has a little extra something, and it's the same price as every other box. But instead of solid color cardstock, we are actually getting flower forming foam. So we have 6 A5 sheets of it in different colors, so various shades of pinks and reds, some greens for your leaves, and white, which is very all-purpose because you can ink on this and color it. So you can color it with your stamping inks, like your pigment inks probably would work best. Dye inks I'm sure would work well too. You can color them with alcohol markers and add extra details if you want to add more fine details. And so that's really fantastic, and it's been a while since I've done flower forming with foam, and so it'll be interesting to see in the booklet if how they work with it. I like to just use a home iron when I actually kind of shrink it and set start molding the shape. So that's really cool, and that's also why we get this ball stylus tool, so you can do some flower forming, and you don't have the pad that you would normally want to use to shape your flowers with. I already have one, so no big deal for me, but I love that they are including kind of different things for you, so that's really cool. The other thing that I think is pretty unique is you have this plastic board here. It may look a little bit strange, and it kind of is. It's got lots of different tracks. And the reason for that is that this scoreboard can actually score for a variety of different boxes. And so I did take a sneaky peek at the booklet, which I'll show you in a bit, just to check to see if they actually have instructions for what boxes, what styles of box does this actually make, and how do you interpret this. So basically, this piece of acetate here that's been printed has multiple different colored lines. Each colored line actually corresponds to a track on, or really multiple tracks on your scoreboard, and they will indicate where you need to score for that particular box. So the one that's the most, I guess, visible to me is the pillow box. So here, a solid line is where you would cut. A dashed line is where you would score. So what you could do is score along everything, and then where there's a solid line, basically the outside edge, you can then go ahead and cut that off. One thing that I find a little bit challenging is, how do you transfer this design to your paper? And so one thing that I might do for myself is actually just create, just with some copy paper, a template. I guess it kind of depends on how often I think I might use this, how durable of a template I want to create. But at least to start, I'll just use some plain copy paper and figure out how I want to transfer this pattern onto that piece of copy paper, and then just store it alongside this for each of the various different types of boxes that you can create. Because I think you can do a milk carton style box as well. I sort of just see a banner shape here, so I'm not sure if that's a box or just a banner that you can cut out. This looks to be like a ticket, so there's that. So I don't know that it's all boxes necessarily. It might be tags and items that you can use to actually decorate your box with. So I'll explore that a little bit more. This might be the first thing I actually explore when I craft with this kit. I think it's nice to get a nice tool like this. Now this ball stylus might work on this scoring tool. It might have been nicer to have a ball stylus that has a slightly smaller ball so that you can actually use it with your scoreboard as well as for flower forming, but they might have needed this size because of maybe some of the dies here that let you cut out your flower shapes. So we'll see as we explore what's in here. And also, the other reason why I want to take a sneaky peek in here is that if you do get this kit, flip to page 6. I did look ahead to check. Page 6 is where it has the URL so that you can go there and actually download the extra freebies that do come with this kit. And I think that what you're going to get is digital forms of the pattern papers and vellums that come here, and more templates for that scoreboard. So so you may want to check that out and grab those just so that you have all the various uses that they've come up with or designed this scoreboard for. There's tons more that you can probably use it for. So just a quick flip through. There's lots of projects, lots of photo inspiration. The projects have step-by-step instructions, some of the times with photo instructions as well. So lots of inspiration for what you can be making with the box contents. So let's see. Like I said, I'm kind of blown away by how much comes in this kit because, excuse me, there's actually 2 A5 stamp sets. Normally, I generally only see the one, and this one has just a lot of sentiments, some corner decorative stamps, some background stamps, some border stamps. At the bottom of the box also, you'll see this says silver, gold, pearl, ruby, sapphire, diamond. At the bottom of the box, it actually, it's maybe worth showing this. There's actually a guide to how many years you've been married and the standard sort of gift that goes along with it. So we have the traditional US, traditional UK, and then the modern, which I didn't even know was a thing. So so there's that, which is pretty cool. And so that's why there are a lot of these words here, because you can be making anniversary cards. And that's pretty cool. And so that's one of the 2 A5 stamp sets. The other, let's see, the other stamp set, also A5, gorgeous, more sentiments. This box did come out, I think, around January, February timeframe, so lots of Valentine's Day themes. But of course, love is all year long, so you can be sending love and kisses for any and all occasions. But you'll see a lot of hearts and a lot of sentiments that sort of go along with Valentine's Day. So really, really pretty that. So those are the two stamp sets. Then we also have an embossing folder, which is sized for A2 cards, and it's lovely. It's got this sort of lacy diamond background here, and sort of a floral scalloped edge on all four edges. So that's gonna be gorgeous. Definitely something a little bit different for in my craft room. Then to go with the flower forming, there are stamens in just plain white, and white might seem boring, but it's actually good that they've provided white because you can color this to any color. So you can just color it with your alcohol markers. You could probably color it with your water-based markers as well. So this is way more versatile than if they had just provided picked a color and then provided you that. Then there are seed beads, which are lovely as shaker bits, but they can also be the centers of your flowers. So that's an option as well. I don't know if you can color these with alcohol markers. You probably can, but it's worth giving it a go. So there's a very generous packet of those seed beads as well. Then I was about to show the dies. So here the dies, there's so many hearts, and it's so lovely that we get some concentric hearts that are just your basic shape. So they're really wonderful to have just as a stash building set, because here we've got plain edge, we have a plain cutting edge with stitched border design, another plain edge, and then two more. Between those two, we have 5 heart dies. Here we have another plain edge heart, I think larger than the largest one in this set. Then there's this decorative plate here that just cuts a design into your paper. It does not have an outside cutting edge, so it's going to, you're not going to get a die cut that comes out of it. You'll just get a lot of these little pieces here falling out, but the pattern will stay in your card. And similarly here is another plate that has a decorative pattern that will cut into your card and does not have that outside cutting edge. This one, it looks to even have some emboss detail where you see that there's metal and then there's sort of patterns that have been cut out of that metal, like these flowers here. So when you run this through, what will happen is where there's solid metal, that's going to push down into your paper. Where they've cut away those patterns, that will be a little bit raised, and so it'll look embossed. So lovely, the attention to detail there. I think that one's going to be really, really pretty. And this one has a scalloped border heart with pierce dot detail, which is great if you want to take your Nuvo drops, for example, and then where you see those piercings, you can just put a little Nuvo drop. So that's really wonderful. Then we get, I'm presuming, because there's flower forming, that the reason why we have multiple sizes of these heart shapes is that they want you to use the hearts as petals for your flowers, which not something I would have thought to do on my own, but wonderful to have that. I'll be really curious to try that out and see how well it works, because usually with 3D foam flowers, I generally will use 3 different sizes of, if I have it, of the same shape for each layer. I'll maybe, or for each size, I'll maybe die cut 2 of each for a total of 6 layers of foam to create a really nice full flower. With this one, I imagine you'll excuse me, you'll need more die cuts because I'm presuming that one heart is going to be maybe one petal for one layer, so you're not going to have the full flower shape. You'll have to kind of build that up. So that'll be interesting. I've never done it that way, so I think I'll definitely have a go. And then you have some die cut pieces that you can use for the centers of your flowers as well, like the stamens. This one almost looks like a snowflake, but with hearts on the end. So that's kind of cool. And then that mimics that embossed detail that's in this design. So, and I see it again here. So really lovely that you're seeing kind of the same shapes and designs in multiple different elements, because then you can incorporate them in different ways on your project, and everything's going to have something that sort of connects it. There's going to be that that thread that sort of connects all of those little pieces. So that's really wonderful. Then we have a set of border dies here, which is kind of cool. So we've got this one, which again does not have an outside cutting edge, but you get a separate die that will provide you that outside cutting edge if you do want to cut this completely off. But this sort of has this sort of like an eyelet sort of design, which is kind of cute because it's sort of fanned out, and then you have hearts embedded here, and same on this edge. So this edge also does not cut away. There's not a solid cut line here, so this is going to stay attached to your paper, and it's been designed so that you can butt these two up and then just continue cutting however long a length that you want, because here you see half of a circle, the right half of a circle, and then here you see the left half of the circle. So so you can try to butt them up against one another, or you can try to overlap a previous die cut with this entire sort of shape here, because it should line up. So so that'll be a fun one to work with as well. Having nice decorative borders on your card is a easy way to kind of create that shaped border to make your card look a little bit interesting, but you don't have to do too much to it. You don't have to turn it into an interactive or a fun fold. Even just creating that shaped border makes it really unique and different. So really versatile die set, I think. Then getting into the papers. So this is thick vellum. So this is vellum printed in color. So really gorgeous. So you can see it's translucent. Beautiful, beautiful colors, especially when you put it on white like this, but really gorgeous. And it's these that you'll have digitals of. So if you do have vellum that can go through a printer, you can maybe print off your own vellum, and that might give you the idea of looking at potentially other digital papers and patterns that you may have, and instead of just printing them straight onto some nice cardstock, maybe printing them onto your vellum instead. So this one might be hard to see, but because there's actually white printed on here. Look at that. So pretty. And I wonder, just looking at it, if any of the dies will cut this out, but I don't think they will, because all of the borders are a little bit fancy. And most of the heart dies in the die set are not fancy. So look at that. Very subtle, very delicate, really, really pretty. So I guess we have one set, because these patterns look familiar to me. I think we've seen them previously, but it looks like one set is white printed onto vellum, and the other set is colored, pink and greens printed onto vellum. So really, really lovely. Let's double check my assumption here. So not quite. So this one sort of repeat patterns. This vellum is really thick. It's thicker than I think what I have. These two have a match. These two are matched. So it's just this one that's only in the white. So that's, again, something really different, because normally we would get patterned papers, not vellum, and we would have solid coordinating cardstock. But instead, we're getting flower forming foam and printed pattern vellum. So lots of different things to work with this month that I think make this super special. And on top of all of that, we have this nice tool that's going to be useful in the craft room for future projects as well. So really, really lovely box. I'm super excited to work with this. So that is Papercraft Society box number 29, curated and designed by Christina Griffiths of Card Making Magic. Thanks again for joining me. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.